Welcome back, folks, to Let's Replay Albion. When last we left off, someone has spilt their drink. How silly of them. And also that table is made of solid metal. That's also a little bit silly. And everyone is getting tired. But one casting of recuperation, and nobody is tired anymore. It's a really good spell, and I think I'm going to be using it a lot more now. But when last we left off, we had finished exploring Omajo and very briefly went into the dungeon beneath the Equipment Makers Guild. We're going to be going back there, but not right now. I also went back to Jirinar between videos and bought some rations because we were running very low on that. And Syrah now has that ring re-equipped that I forgot to equip before. But now we want to head to the Toronto. And there are two ways we can do that. We can go back to the Miners Guild, and we could go and find the guide and pay the guide to take us there. Or we could go ourselves, which is a very dangerous thing if you don't know where you're going. Fortunately, I do know where I'm going, so we're going to head east here and go to where the sea is. If you don't know where you're going, you could get lost and the desert will start sapping your strength, and if you're very unlucky, you'll find some enemies that will try and kill you. You don't want any of that, so you really want to, if you don't know where you're going, you should probably hire the guide. But I do know where I'm going, so we're going to go this way behind this rock, and we're going to eventually go into these selections of standing stones here. We're trying to find our way over to one particular area, and I think we may need to go a little bit more south to get there. Maybe not. Maybe we do. Ah, we do, because that is where we need to go. Another one of these doors here. In fact, it's described as a blocked entrance, but we can open it easily enough. And here we are in a dungeon. A dungeon that is going to need some light, because it is very dark. And also it is very dangerous, as there is going to be an enemy here we have not yet encountered. Well, we have technically encountered it, but not one of this type. Here is a Rinri, and we have encountered Rinri before, right? Wrong. This is a Rinri 3, and Rinri 3 are exceptionally dangerous. This Rinri is going to actually act before any of us does, and they hit very hard. So you want to make sure that you get all of your hits in as quickly as possible. The same rules for Rinri apply here though. If there were a lot of them and we killed enough Rinri, they would eventually run away. But this Rinri 3 is alone and rather dangerous, and there is more than one of them here. There are quite a few Rinri 3 here. Some of them are by themselves, like that one there, but other ones are in a group, and it is the ones that are in a group that are extremely dangerous, and you want to make sure that you kill as many of them as you can very quickly. Focusing on the ones that are less dangerous. There are other Rinri that aren't as dangerous as the Rinri 3 in those encounters. But unfortunately, the Rinri 3 are the ones that are really going to do a lot of damage. And speaking of more Rinri, there are some more Rinri there. And we want to be very careful, especially with all of our spell points here, because this is an encounter with Rinri 2 and Rinri 3. But if you focus on the Rinri 2, you probably shouldn't have too much trouble. The keyword here is too much trouble, because they're still rather dangerous. Fortunately, I think we should be able to deal with them quickly enough. And I don't know what spell I was trying to cast there. It was not the Fireball spell. There we go. We'll just do that, and we'll have you attack there, and now we'll see how devastating they are. As you can see there, the Rinri 2 can still hit us, and we have a lot of protection stat there. We need to be very careful. Fortunately, the Frost Avalanche by now is extremely effective, and the party in general is also very effective. There's one dead, and there is another one dead? No, not yet, but very soon. What we want to have happen now is we want to generally focus on one enemy at a time so that we can obliterate it absolutely utterly. There we go, we want that there, and we want a fireball, I think, here. We also want a attack here, maybe one or two of them, and some attacks there. There we go. Hopefully we'll be able to kill enough of them so that they will start running away. You don't need to kill many of them. There we go. That might actually be enough. It might be enough. There is only one way to find out, and that is to wait until they are unfrozen, because they are still frozen here. And that's really good, because the longer they're frozen, the more of them we can kill. I think, however, we're rather safe, but you can never be too sure. In fact, I think I now can be quite sure, because most of them are now dead. And indeed, they are starting to run away. But this is not the only encounter we're going to have with the Rinri here, and I think it might be time to drink one of these potions. There we go. Much better. We need to keep exploring very, very carefully, and there is another encounter somewhere. But where? Over here, maybe? Maybe? There's a door over there. I think that leads to the way out, and hello, Rinri, how are you? It's exactly the same encounter as we had before, except this time we know exactly what's coming, and we need to be a lot quicker in defeating them. Well, I say that, we were quite fast previously, but we need to be even faster, because you never know how many times you might miss with your attacks, especially the melee attacks, which can indeed miss quite a lot, even with our high combat skill. There we go, they're all frozen once again. I really do like this spell. I mean, you don't need to use it right at the beginning, because it does take a lot of spell points, but now it's quite easy to cast quite a few times. And there is a fireball, and there is the fire rain there that will kill 2 of them, which is absolutely brilliant. Now we want to focus on dealing with a few of these here quite quickly. I think we'll kill this one first, this one right here. There we go, and I think that might be enough. Then again, it might not be. Okay, never mind, that was one critical, and every single one of the other attacks was wasted. But I would rather have the attacks wasted than have that thing not be dead. Alright, we'll have some attacks here, and a fireball here, I think. Yep, there we go, and we'll just wait. Is that one dead yet? That one is, and I think that one is going to be soon as well. No, it is not, but I imagine they're going to start running away. And running away they indeed are. Brilliant! We could go to the exit there, but there is something down here that we want, that we are going to go and get, if we don't get stuck behind some rocks. There we go, south we go, very carefully. Very carefully. Hello, Rinri. It is a solitary one, and we can deal with a solitary Rinri 3 quite easily. At least I hope we can. And this is when that Rinri absolutely kills all of us. Or, ouch, 31 points of damage. That is nasty. In fact, I think that's nearly as... Well, never mind, the Rinri is dead, but that is about as bad as a Krondir 2. And there is a area down here that we most certainly want to go to at some point, but as you can see over here, there is something there that we need to go and get. If we're very careful, we can reach in and we can grab this. And in here is a lot of stuff. If you didn't have things for Dra, now is a good opportunity to get them, because here is some fantastic armor, which is really, really good. And a really big shield, which is also really, really good, and 22 blue healing potions. Now you can see why I'm not so bothered that I've been grabbing lots of those potions from the unlimited source, because the game pretty much hands you some as soon as you get to here. It is a lot of them, and I thought there was a sword there at some point, but it would appear that there is not a sword. But that's okay, because we really, really don't need a sword right now. Do we go south here? I think we go south here. But then again, my memory is a little bit hazy on this very small dungeon, so we're going to save just in case I have made a mistake. There we go. And now I'm very happy that I made that save, because something did indeed go very, very wrong. And when we get to that point, hopefully it won't happen, and I'll explain what did. It's only ever happened to me once before. the last time I was trying to record this, so we're going to move on down here into a very, very important area. When the companions come out of the tunnel, Tom utters a cry. Look! Back there flies a shuttle from the Toronto! And indeed, there is a shuttle there. Eventually. The shuttle approaches. Apparently the companions have been spotted. It lands. Hello there! It's nice to see one of you in one piece. I mean, the last one we saw isn't really around anymore as a complete shuttle. Off you go, Tom! Turning to his companions, Tom says, Come, don't be afraid. It'll be a little tight inside there, but we'll only have to be in there for a short time. And in he goes. Tom climbs in and notices that there's no pilot. The shuttle is remote controlled. Not suspicious yet, are you, Tom? You should have been. Suddenly, the shuttle door slams shut. Tom is locked in without the companions and the shuttle starts. During the takeoff, a gas fills the cabin. Tom loses consciousness and drops to the floor. He remembers nothing about the flight. Goodbye, shuttle! And off goes Tom into the unknown. And the companions just sort of stay there. Off we go to the Toronto. And let's just say it looks nothing like how it did before. Overcome by stun gas, Tom slowly comes to. He is picked up by 2 security guards and taken into the Toronto. We're back in the Toronto, everyone! Underarmed guard. The gas is still taking its toll on Tom. With blurred vision and a foggy head, he sees his reception team. Captain Brandt, Christine, Joe, some crew members, as well as Ned, the AI onboard computer. Hello, everyone! Nice to see you. Driscoll, you're still alive. You must have gone through hell. Tom, you aren't dead. I sure am happy to see you. Tom! My God, I'm glad to see you again. How are you? What happened? And where? Excuse me, Mrs. Moki, but as you can see, Mr. Driscoll's condition is very bad. He must have medical treatment immediately. Gasp. Captain Brandt. Why? The planet is... I too think we should bring Mr. Driscoll into the medical department immediately. It's a wonder that he survived so long in this unsafe environment. But sir, the planet is... You must know that... The planet is full of life! Oh dear. I was afraid of this. Mr. Driscoll is hallucinating. He has to be taken to the medical station immediately. Nobody believes Tom, and that is very, very odd. But the 2 security guards take Tom and drag him forward. Oh dear. Tom! Be patient for a few days, Mrs. Moki. You will be able to visit Mr. Driscoll as soon as he has recovered a little. Why do I get the feeling that might not be the case? Because there is something afoot here. The security guards are barely out of sight of the others when Tom feels a sharp pain in the neck. The injection makes everything around him turn to darkness. Oh dear. Sometime later, Tom comes to in a hospital bed. He is awake! Damn! My head! What was that stupid stunt all about? Have they all gone nuts? They may have. Or something more sinister is going on, Tom. You're really not going to try the door, are you? The door is barred. Driscoll, you're in trouble. Something is wrong here. And something is indeed very wrong. You may notice a few things. Firstly, they took absolutely nothing from us. I mean, did nobody there go, you know, Ned, it seems like he's equipped with, you know, a blade that spouts fire, some chainmail, a shield, a ring, I think he had that already, that helmet, that power amulet, all that food and money, and where did he get that gun from? They took absolutely nothing from him. Surely somebody there must have seen all of the stuff that we have. But no, it would seem not. They appear to think that we were hallucinating, and with the effects of the stun gas, it may have looked like that. Something is very, very wrong, and the thing I was mentioning before is that you're trapped here until a certain amount of time passes. I think it's 9 in-game hours, but the event that gets you out went horribly wrong, and we were still trapped in here. So I had to unfortunately do it all again. But that has only happened once before ever, and indeed, we can't get out. But there is a panel here, a door opener. Beside the keypad, there is a slot for inserting code cards, and for some reason, we can see that through the wall. We may indeed be trapped, but there is one thing we can be grateful for, and that is that we have a chemical toilet. And that's pretty much it. We have nothing else here. There is nothing we can open. We could take a few things. We could take this container, and we could take this beaker here, but we just need to wait. And this is a very, very tense moment. I mean, it's the first time we've heard this music in absolutely ages, and it's not under a good situation, because something is very, very wrong. Something is happening, and it's not good, because we know the planet is teeming with life, but it seems like either nobody else does, or they're pretending not to know. But we don't know anything yet, so we're just going to wait, and something will happen. Something does happen. But the first time you go through this, you might wonder if nothing is going to happen, if there is a timed segment where you have to get out or something terrible will happen. But no, something is indeed going to happen. We just have to wait. Quite a while. A very long while indeed. But the wait is indeed worth it. Eventually. We just need to keep waiting. And waiting. And we might as well save here, because it could still go wrong, and I'd rather it didn't. So let's make sure that the event goes correctly, shall we? Let's wait. We just have to be very, very patient. The one thing right now you really don't want to be. But it's what we have to be, because we're trapped. And we have no ability to lockpick this door. I mean, if Rayner was here, maybe he could have helped explain everything, but then again, it may have gone exactly the same way. So, we just have to presume that things would have gone wrong either way. But still we wait, and still we are trapped. Trapped with no way out. It's all over for Driscoll. Ooh, hello. Now there's a familiar face. A familiar face that's opening the door. Hello. The door opens suddenly, and Tom's old friend Joe comes in. Hello. Joe. Finally a friendly soul. What's going on? Why am I held here like a criminal? Stop. Quiet down, man. First, it's great that you're still alive. We have pretty much written you and Halfstead off. Sorry, old man. I'm happy to see you too. That's good. I don't know how much time we have. You might have noticed that I opened the door with a doctored card. I already guessed that your visit here was unofficial. Just tell me what happened. I can right now. First, you tell me. Everything. Short and sweet. Short and sweet? Man, you've no idea. Tom describes his unbelievable experiences as compactly as possible. He reports on the Iskine humans and his adventures on a world swarming with life. Joe becomes more and more astonished. Take a seat, Joe. It's quite a shock. Whoa. I have to digest this sitting down. It completely gobbled my words. If I hadn't known you for so long, I'd actually believe that you were a little nuts. All of that actually happened? You know that I couldn't have made all of that up. Halfstead can confirm everything for you if he had not remained with the Dji Cantos. Yes, that would help explain it. But that this world is... Now it's your turn, my friend. What happened here? Everything is going as normal, and that's exactly the problem. You aren't going to tell me that nobody here has noticed that something's wrong with this planet? Think a minute. If you had landed on Earth in the middle of the Gobi Desert and had seen nothing more of the planet, what would you think? The landing site was chosen cleverly, that's for sure. That only leaves the conclusion that the AI and Captain Brandt gave false data to the crew. Obviously. But aside from that, several things have happened. The fact that the atmosphere is more breathable than was believed before is hard to ignore. In addition, during the first mining, we ran into awfully strange and tough creatures. Such highly developed forms of life could hardly be present on an almost lifeless planet. And no one became suspicious. Well, the creatures were repulsed by the security forces. In the beginning, there was a completely crazy series of inexplicable crashes and accidents. That kept us so busy that we hardly had time to sleep, let alone think. The captain opted for the brute force method. It cost us a lot of ammunition and material, but with all the armament we brought with us, we simply glided over all the problems. Curious that we brought a lot of guns with us here, eh? If we were expecting no resistance? Slowly, all the incidents subsided. The bonuses were doubled, and many on board just looked the other way. No one else had an opportunity to learn anything about this world. After all, you know it's forbidden to leave the installation area. It all fits together perfectly. It's now very clear why they've put me in cold storage. I was too naive. However, I would never have suspected DDT would use such drastic measures. Somehow someone will find out. Maybe. Maybe not. Of course, the death of Inspector Beagle now appears in a new light. Right. He could have noticed the manipulation of the probe data and tried to make contact with his office when they discovered him. The intentional overloading of the oversea console could only have been done by Ned, the onboard computer. If the AI is actively involved in the whole affair, and we have to assume that, then we should be very careful. There's not much on board with Toronto which cannot be controlled by the AI. Nevertheless, we have to get out of here and talk with the other people on board. I know a lot of them. When they know everything about this world, I cannot imagine that they will continue to work on the destruction of a planet, bonus or no. Maybe. In any case, it's going to be enough trouble just to stop the operation. But that's not the problem. The problem is the AI. What can it do? Cut off the power? Ned may have cameras, but there certainly aren't machine guns screwed to them. A couple of weeks ago, I discovered something that probably only a few people on board know. There is not just one of the artificial bodies through which the AI communicates with us. There are dozens. And but things are dangerous, especially in this number. If Ned is in the position to control all bodies at the same time, it gets serious. There'll be a massacre. Oh, you're kidding me. You mean DDT would use force against its own people? You can figure that out for yourself. If a ship of this size does not fulfill its mission, it's a major financial loss. It will be the end of the company. That's a motive for extraordinary efforts and measures, don't you think? Okay. I could tell you a long story about how this planet and its inhabitants have become a part of me on my long journey here, and so on and so forth. I'll add only one thing. This world will only be dug up over my dead body. Okay? Joe looks at Tom quietly for a while. After pausing to think, he says, "Well, there must be fantastic places in this world, and I would surely like to see them. I'm sure I'll regret it, but I'm with you." What can I say? How about thank you? Ha! Forget it. Do you have any idea what we can do next? We have to try and paralyze the AI's energy supply. Then we could speak to the entire crew and the security people. I'm assuming that the security people aren't all bloodthirsty. Then we could have a little revolution without running the risk of a bloodbath by the AI bodies. I'm assuming that we can't simply pull the plug on the AI, right? I knew you were going to ask that. The central computer, which contains Ned's artificial mind, is located in a special housing which even outer space conditions can't hurt. The energy supply is wireless. Our only chance lies in the central control room of the fusion power plant. There has to be a console there which could interrupt the energy transfer to the AI. What are our chances of getting in there? Normally not so good. However, two things can help us. First, the power plant is in the same section we're in now. Secondly, the AI is conferring with the captain, probably about you right now. Ned's verbal communication with a human being always requires more computer time than all other tasks. This means that the Toronto continues to be controlled, but other CPU-intensive tasks are suppressed. For example, the visual evaluation of camera pictures. To cut a long story short, we could try to reach the power plant room unnoticed through a service level, cut off the AI, and tell the people on board about this planet. Sounds good. Off to the power plant. That's all you can say about it? Well, first we have to find an access to the service deck. They have cleared this section, but we shouldn't leave this section. Otherwise we'll have security down on our backs immediately. They'll lock us up before you can let out a peep of your story. Sounds good. Let's go. And when we come back, folks, we now have Joe in our party, and we must now make our escape from this area and into the service level below. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.